I'm gonna play every game on Game Pass. Well, at least the first hour of every game on Game Pass. Welcome in, my name is Alan, the Alan Bug. I'm a content creator here on YouTube and also a streamer on Twitch. If you ever wanna come over and check me out on Twitch, I stream every Monday and Friday, 4 p.m. EST. Yakuza is this huge series of games based in Japan, well, with the theme that you can already imagine about the mafia of the Yakuza. There are many Yakuza games available on the Game Pass, including some spin-offs such as Like a Dragon Ishin and the one we're gonna talk about today, Like a Dragon Gaiden. And I actually cheated a little bit this time. I didn't play 1 hour of the game. I played 2 hours of the game. Does that mean that I like the game? Does that mean that the game is so good that I couldn't stop playing? Or what else would I play 2 hours of the game? Well, I will tell you right after the intro. Let's check it out, Like a Dragon Gaiden. I really loved how the game starts with real footage and CGI mixed in the cutscene to make you really feel like you're in Japan. And when I mean you, I mean Kiryu. Kiryu is the main character of this game. Kiryu is an ex-Yakuza. And I feel like this movie took some inspiration from movies like John Wick. The character even talks like John Wick.
Everything could have been avoided if you just let her leave.
Kiryu has a really nice voice in English. And by the way, this goes for every character that I saw. The voice acting in this game is pristine. And honestly, I think it's really important that the voice acting is this good. I actually played 2 hours, not one, but 2 hours of this game to get a little bit of gameplay, which means in 2 hours of gameplay we got a lot of cutscenes. Imagine if the voice acting was bad or boring during those 2 hours, I would have given up. In the cutscenes, you're gonna get familiar with the story of the game. Because this is a spin-off of the series Yakuza game, some of the dialogue is very expositive. Sometimes they will explain the story like you're a 5, but well, I think that's okay if you're a new gamer like me who would like to caught up with the story. But honestly, don't expect too much about the story. There is a lot of names, a lot of factions, but at the end of the day, it's not that important and somehow superficial. And here is my problem with this game. On the first 2 hours of game that I played, there were mostly cutscenes. In between cutscenes, there would be combats between you and some mob of thugs. None of them actually offer any challenge, and maybe because of that, the combat can get a little bit repetitive. In the combat, you have light attack, heavy attack, and you have a little device that they call Spider. The spider will allow you to tie up the opponent and even throw him onto other opponents. Another thing you can do in between cutscenes after a while is explore the streets of Japan. In the streets, you're gonna find some mini games. I didn't have time to see many of them. I saw one that I didn't know how to play, so I just skipped. But unfortunately, you cannot get in any store. Look, I'm trying to get into this store that looks very educational. I can't. Some stores will be very deceitful. Look at this one. I see maid costumes everywhere. So I went in, very hopeful that I'll get a maid costume for myself. But look, there is no maid costume on sale. God dang it. The fighting might get a little bit repetitive, but I'm gonna tell you, it is so much fun to hit your enemies with pipes, with bats, with chairs, and even a bench. Yes, a bench. Take a look at this. The boss fights, now that is really fun and actually offer you some challenge. You're gonna have to adapt to the moves and you're gonna have to use the other movements that you do not use during fights with mobs. For example, dodging, blocking, perfect dodge to do a counter. So get ready to get your ass whooped by the bosses. And by the way, when that happens, the game will definitely humiliate you and offer you an easier mode. Come on game, don't do that to me. Alright, so that was my first, well, 2 hours of the game. So let's recap the pros and cons of the game. The pros, it is actually super fun to beat the ass of every single enemy with whatever you have in hand. The combat system is actually fun to play. It is fun. If you're already familiar with the Yakuza series, this one will make you feel at home as well. I only played one Yakuza game for a little bit and I feel like, oh yeah, I've been here before. And the voice acting, to me, is perfect. absolutely great voice acting. Now the cons. I really feel like unfortunately the game is too heavy on cutscenes at the beginning of the game, and honestly if I wasn't recording this video, I think I would have given up on the game already. We have a big map, but in 2 hours I could barely explore anything, and even whatever I could explore was very limited. And even though it is a fun combat system, it is a bit repetitive. You're gonna get tired of beating up basically the same enemies the same way over and over again. From the games that I've made a review so far, I think this will be at the bottom of the list, not because it's a bad game, but because I will tell you to prioritize the other games. I will tell you to prioritize Power on top of that. I will tell you to prioritize a new chart on top of that. So for now, Yakuza is at the bottom of the tier list. But don't worry, it's not a bad game. I still think you should check it out for yourself, considering what I told you about. So don't forget that I'm also a streamer on Twitch, and if you want to check me out, Mondays and Fridays, 4 p.m. EST. I will see you soon, and bye!